Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, the soniferous, the ever-present Dr. Yukon Suckit. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Yukon Suckit, ladies and gentlemen. Word to your mama. So I am broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck that I found over on AetherHub. So the story to this is yesterday I was playing a deck, at which point I went up against something seriously like this. And instead of being angry, I was amazed because it was a thing of beauty with just the sheer ferocity that it was capable of laying down. It was beautiful. And so I said, I just wrote a little note saying, go take a look for simple Izzet decks that are pretty much like blue counter spells and red direct damage bubbling up to being a Goldspan Dragon, right? So I poked around, and I found this one put together by the meta assistant that they have there. I am really hopeful. I had a deck in last rotation that was very much like it, and I called it my cliche deck because I took every red cliche deck at the time, like that Goblin Stompy card. I can't remember what that one was called anymore. And like it had like the blue fairy. I think the something robber that bounced something back or something. I forget how it goes. But anyways, it reminds me heavily of this deck. And so I'm glad that I have something like it. I love the way this thing works. I really love the fact that it's got Hullbreaker Horror in this because I'm a huge fan of Hullbreaker. You know, you tend to have to play, I feel like I got to play mono blue to get to the Hullbreaker, but it only takes 2 blue. And other than that, if you're playing a lot of treasure, you can play whatever you want. So I'm really hoping that this deck is going to just rock. If it's anything like that deck we saw yesterday, it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's take a look at what's in this deck, and then we'll take it out to see how well it does. At the low end, we've got Voltage Surge. For 1 mana, it does 2 points of damage. If you can sacrifice an artifact, you may deal 4 damage instead. It only deals damage to creatures or planeswalkers. We have a truckload of 2 mana spells, and I think the reason why is because we're trying to leverage Hullbreaker Horror, and for every spell that you can cast with the Hullbreaker Horror, you can choose to return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand. That's essentially a counter spell. Except for instead of destroying that spell and it goes to the graveyard, it goes back to their hand. Or you can bounce a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, which you could bounce Hullbreaker back to your hand in case you can't do anything to defend against it. Or you could bounce just the entirety of somebody else's forces back to their hand, at which point then Hullbreaker can just walk across and do whatever damage he wants to do. So anyways, we got Disdainful Stroke, which counters anything with a mana value of 4 or greater. Jwari Disruption, which is essentially a blue land, but in a pinch can be used as a counter spell with a really easy to overcome cost. Make disappears in here, costs 2 mana, and it's just like Jwari Disruption, other than the fact it costs 2 mana to overcome it. These things really bother me, so we'll see how that happens, right? Negate. I love Negate. It's 2 mana and counter target non-creature spell. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's gone. Cinderclasm. So this thing, for 2 mana, will deal 1 damage to each creature. If you pay an additional 1, it'll do 2 damage to each creature. So it'll cost you 3 to kind of board wipe anything that has 2 or less off the table there. Dragon's Fire will deal 3 damage to any creature or planeswalker. If you have a dragon in your hand or you have one in play, you can choose to have the damage being dealt be equal to the dragon's power. In this case, we really only have the Goldspan Dragon. Unless we're going to pump it somehow, you could do 4 rather than 3. Okay, but it also tells everybody, hey, there's dragons in my deck. So I kind of don't like that because it's like a gigantic warning about what's coming up, but it's a good utility card for that. We got Expressive Iteration, which for 2 mana, let's look at the top 3 cards of your library. You put 1 in your hand, one back into the bottom of your library, and another one into exile, and you can play it this turn. Usually you want that third one to be a land, so do not play a land before you play this card, just so that you have the ability to push something out. If you got a bunch of mana, you don't have to be as worried about how you play this spell. But when you're playing this thing early, don't play a land. And I have a hard time. I got to keep reminding myself that all the time. Shatterskull Smashing is a land. In case you want to use it as something else, it can do direct damage to up to 2 different creatures. You can take whatever you pump into it and split it amongst them. But if you deal over 6, you'll basically deal twice that amount of damage split amongst the 2 people that you pick. Prismari Command, for 3, you get to choose 2 of any of the following to deal 2 points of damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards and discards 2 cards. Target player creates a treasure token, and lastly, destroy target artifact. I find that in this kind of a deck, I'm trying to do create treasure token a bunch, just so I can ramp up to get Goldspan or Hullbreaker Horror out. The Horror. Memory Deluge. There's your blue card draw, because when you pay 4 to put it out, then you look at the top 4 cards of your library. You pick 2, put it into your hand. Everything else goes to the bottom of your library. When you play with Flashback, you have to pay 7, but you get to take a look at the top 7 cards of your library. I have never paid attention to this. That is grisly as all hell. It's like that mom or something is killing a little zombie girl. Whoa. Anyways, I can see that the water, the tears are pouring out of her eyes there. So anyways, you pull 7, you grab 2, and then you put those in your hand, the rest back on the bottom of your library. So good card draw. Here's red card draw. So you discard a single card, but you get to draw 2, and you create 2 treasure tokens. So this is a big boost. If you get yourself up to 4, you get yourself up to 6 generally pretty quick. And you only need 5 for a Goldspan. And once again, for 5, we've only got 1 in here? That is ridiculous. Probably my, I don't know, 3rd favorite card, possibly first by way of art, is Burn Down the House. And it costs you 5, and you could do one of the 2. Deal 5 damage to each creature and each planeswalker, or create 3 1/1 Red Devil token creatures. And when those things die, then they do 1 point of damage to any target, and they gain haste. Those devils have so much utility. I tell you, when you have this card in your hand, you keep thinking, I'm going to burn this whole place to the ground. But those devils are a utility you cannot pass up. They are fantastic. Don't overlook them. We got 4 Goldspan Dragons that cost you 5, but when they come into, let's see, they're flying in haste 4/4, which is fantastic. And whenever they attack or become the target of a spell, you create a treasure token, and every treasure token you have is now sacrificed for 2 mana of any one color. So these guys are they just completely they turn you into Super Saiyan. I'm sorry. Dragon Ball Z was after my time. I'm just trying to sound hip like all the kids today. Super Saiyan! All right. Hullbreaker Horror. I'm trying very much not to say Hullbreaker Horror. Horror. I think the people with my accent, Australian, have a hard time saying horror. Anyways, for 7, this guy can come out with Flash. He cannot be countered. And so then he looks like he's got a bunch of fingers sticking out of his hips there, but those are just weird little claws. He's got the little claws. He's a 7/8, so awesome, good for you, my man. But even more so, whenever you cast a spell, any spell, you get to do one of the 2, which we already talked about, which is return target spell to its owner's hand, or return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If you got enough little ones, which we got a ton of, this guy is space awesome. We got 2-man lands. We got Bouncing Kamigawa. We got a red Kamigawa that pumps out hasty 1/1 spirit tokens. We got Field of Runes, which will help kill man lands and other weird lands you don't particularly care for. And a bunch of dual lands of the fast and the semi-fast variety, and some regular basic lands. So that's your deck. Let's take it out and see how well it does. And I'm playing against TonyMontana. I feel like I should know that name. Who's TonyMontana? It's not Tony Marino. All right, we have 3 4-ish mana. Let's keep it. Anything in particular slow? Shatterskull Smashing. I could pay for that if I had to. Countering things is the first best way. Move this over here just so that we know what we're doing. Let's base 2 additional mana. That's not what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Gotta get to 5. I got 5 mana in my hand right now. I'll take that. Treasure token at 2 damage. Should be far at some point. Dragon Fire, huh? Alright, I'm going to put out Shatterskull Smashing. This guy's not going anywhere fast. We're putting it out tapped. And we're done. This guy wants me to make the first move. I keep going for it, I don't care. All right, 4. In turn. No Hinata for you this turn. All right, let's red up. Let's put out the dragon here. Goldspan. Let's see. Let's go ahead and... counter non-target spell. How to pay? All right, holding it together. You gonna slay something here? Don't have any counter spells at the moment. Oh, what should I do? Let's go see what we can pull. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens. You can try to counter that. No. Let's see. I do have the ability to kill something for 4 at this point, though. You gonna counter that, Smokey? No, you're not. Let's see. Let's create some devils. Yo, Joe. Alright, got him down to 1. Now those devils are the most dangerous things in play. I think they have to be exiled to be able to make it to where they're not going to kill them immediately. And we win. Yeah, I wouldn't like that either. Let's see, we're playing against, what is this? Fanchig. Fanchig. Alright, never heard of it before. 1, 2. 2 mana. 2 stinky mana. Keep it. We'll see if Prismari Command can dig us out of this hole. I got a Voltage Surge ready to shoot something in the head. Hey there, Cubert. You're looking very rainbow-ishous. Alright, 2. I gotta wait till next turn. Otherwise, I run the risk of needing to put out a land. I mean, basically always throwing away the 3rd card. Or almost always throwing away the 2nd card anyway on an Expressive Iteration. There's a Naturalist. This guy needs to die! Alright, Expressive Iteration. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I'll have 4 mana here pretty quick. I can create treasure potentially. That's probably the best course of action. 2 points of damage isn't going to do too much to that guy, though. I do have 4 mana. Treasure token, 2 points of damage. Voltage Surge. So 0. Alright, now we're actually rocking up for Goldspan Dragon on the next turn. The good news is that I'd actually have the mana for Disdainful Stroke at this point. Alright, so we'll just sit with the Disdainful Stroke, hoping for the best here. We got lots of mana, try to put out something big. That guy's not going to cut it, even though I hate his guts. But yeah, he needs to be... He's only a 2. Can't do much about that. I can definitely start bouncing things, though. That cost me big. There's another dragon. All attack. Winner, winner, victory dinner. We're playing against Madzombie. Or is it Madzombie? Bombay. I don't know. We got 3-ish mana. Let's keep it. This out is a nice slow one. Burn down the house is our big drop with what we have in our hand at the moment. Okay, there's 2. Expressive Iteration on the next turn. Don't let me put out a land. Yeah, you can die in a fire. There you go. All right, there we go. We have a big score. Let's keep another Voltage Surge around. Put that back and keep this one. We'll put it out as a red. All right, got lots of land there. Take this one. Put that one back. This one out. All right, make it disappear, which means we can counter anything like this. All right, number 5 gets us into a Goldspan Dragon. All attack. Let's see, playing target Planewalker, playing creature or Planeswalker. So nothing going directly against a player at this point. Six, huh? I don't have the mana for it at this moment. I will in a second, though. Choose a dragon I control. 1. Auto pay. 2. Submit. And lastly, target creature. Auto pay. And I don't need to do anything additional. There we go. Dead, dead, dead. Alright, this is where he's about to give up, I believe. Nope, he's holding in there. Guy's got a lot of mana, and there's a lot of things he can do. Dragons get killed by relying upon 3 devils to hold the rest of the game down for me. And they're both the same. There you go. There's 7. And then I got 3 little landmines ready to blow up at a moment's notice. They're nothing but danger. There we go. Nice. Okay. I don't want to say anything because it'll sound completely condescending to him. Oh, look, he's back up to 3. Here we go. We'll go for the quick death. What are you trying to do there, my friend? You're only going to be able to gain 1 more life. Or I guess 2 life. There you go, you're up to 5. I know you're trying. I know you're trying so hard. Block him. And... Ow! Read ahead, just to make sure. Victory! Alright, then we're playing against Hattok. This guy sounds totally familiar to a certain degree. Alright, 3 land, we'll keep it. Hattok. We'll go for the slow land to start off with. Enters land tapped. Means we can't do a voltage surge on our first turn. We'll have to wait till that thing's open. Alright, that's fine. We'll put out the blue and call it good. Gotta wait till next turn to play Expressive Iteration. Alright, keep. Send it back. Keep it. Voltage Surge is still on the table. That's not going to help out. Things got 3. Let's go for a blue. Two damage and a treasure token. And a voltage surge. Puts us right where we want to be at. Alright, Goldspan Dragon. All attack. Alright, Disdainful Stroke, Dragonfire are what are going to keep us going here. He's got a lot of cards, though. There's a dragon sitting right up there. Oh, I can't do jack about that, though. Alright, blue. Let's go, deck. Let's go. What are we going to do here? Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. No, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of something. Sorry, Disdainful Stroke. You are awesome, but I need something else. 2 damage. Let's just go to our next turn. You can play this on his turn. I love that second one. Alright, that's going to kind of suck. He's got man lands, though. Let's see what you got. 2 left. Take it, unfortunately. I can't do anything about it. I've run out of steam. He's playing on these cards, they're just below my threshold. Good for him. Bless his little heart. All right, let's pop this guy. He's gonna go for a creature spell. It's 3. What's he got there? 2 left over. That's enough to make it to where I can't counter it. Can't do anything. Well, I can do that. Yep. Wop, 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 wop. I'm actually have to take damage. That's not right. Okay, deck is starting to falter here. Come on, my man. You can do it. It's not gonna do anything about that. All right, Death Touch, Room abilities, and trigger additional time. You guy sucks. Yeah, you might as well. Oh, this is ridiculous. All right, I'm chalking this one up to just bad luck. Here we go. So he's doing 2 here. Alright, not going to help at all. He's always dodging in just below that threshold. These make disappears kind of suck. Alright, so he's dead. I really needed a burn down the house, and I didn't get it. All right, we'll give it to him. And go for it. There we go. Dead. Wop, 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 wop. All right, putting against Fitzy. Oh, some of the slowest lands and nothing else. I'm going to mulligan this. Nah. Alright, we'll keep it. And we got to get rid of 2 cards. Hullbreaker is going to have to go, I'm sorry. And make disappear because you've been nothing but disappointing. All right, we're on a race at this point because we're going to be milled. All right, yes, right. See, you didn't stop me. You were supposed to stop me. Luckily, I remembered what I was doing here. This one. That treasure token is a guarantee. So I can get up to 5 mana essentially on this next turn. What I want to do, there's no artifacts to get rid of. Treasure token, 2 damage. I can kill that guy. Just I'm not going to be able to get Rune Crab gone with the Prismari Command. All right, 1 and 2. There's also an artifact. I could have just killed him that way as well. All right, now we are ready to Goldspan Dragon the hell out of this thing. Just gotta dance around those blues up there. I bet you he's got it in him, though. I'm going to try something here. See if he's willing to protect his... No, he's not. And he wouldn't even try. Whatever he's got up there is not a counterspell. I went down to 40. He's got 77. That's not a... You're kind of going to get a bunch of stuff, dude. You may want to tailor it a little bit. Fitzy. The deck doesn't get better just because you put more cards in it. What are you playing, like a commander deck here? All right, I'm going to try the Goldspan. Yep, no problems. It's not a counterspell, whatever it is. I mean, is it Seed to the Future? Or the Cosmos, whatever it is? We're playing basic lands also. There's another Rune Crab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another land I can call out the Storm Giant. I got one in my hand, so that'll be fine. All right, make disappear. Counters any target spell. Should be good. Quite frankly, I'm expecting him just to block with the Gold Hound. Oh, the Gold Hound is mana, so he does have just one additional more mana. Well, depends what he plays. He's just gonna block it. That's, come on, the Storm Giant just hit that thing. There we go. That's what we need. I see. It was the dog that had the extra damage there. That one little pitiful tap noise. And you got the mana for it. You could do it. See, make disappear, man. I am not liking you. I know I can sacrifice a guy to do it, but that's just not right. 2 mana. He's got the 2 mana. See, it's not going to help. Only down to your 16. He's taking it. He thinks he can do it. I make disappear in my hand. He's going to try to get greedy. If I have to, I'll take down the dragon, because I got enough to kill you my next turn. Absolutely. Yeah, that dragon, he's going to do it. I'm going to sacrifice him. You jump on the sword. I'm going to touch the precious. All broken and screwed over, but still, it's a precious. Yeah, I see you over there. Drinking out of it. Should have left it alone, my friend. He wants to return it to his hand. He's getting desperate? Is that the deal? Because he's looking to scry? Yeah, go ahead. And we win. Here, I'll make that noise. Victory! All right, so here we are back with Izzet Dragon. And I'm trying to say, is there really any new cards in here since the olden days? Like, is there any new Streets of New Capenna in here? Not really. I mean, geez, let's just check real quick. Okay, we got Make Disappear. And it's Disdainful Stroke's looking really good, but that's not New Capenna. So, yeah, no, I mean, this is a fantastic deck. It's one of my favorite Izzet versions here. What I really, really like is in Izzet, when you're using blue for like card draw and counter spells. I can't believe I just said that, but still counter spells. And then on the flip side, you've got red for doing direct damage and Goldspan Dragon. Man, Goldspan Dragon has been so good for such a long time. I mean, it's almost been 2 years now. And to think that it's finally rotating out of standard, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, let's take a look, though, at Burn Down the House. Luckily, that thing's going to be around for another year. And my God, I love Burn Down the House. It is so good. So, you know, what's funny is that I say, who was the hero of this deck? But what I really want to say is, who was the villain of this deck? What really stunk it up? Make Disappear. God, I hate those cards that say counterspell unless this controller pays 2 or plays 1. Now, at least in the case of Jwari Disruption, it's a land, right? So therefore, it's a land, and if you just can happen to use it as a counterspell, great, you're going to use it as a counterspell. Make Disappear? Nah, no man, not at all. Now, the only thing that's good about it is it's got casualty, so you can kill anything that has a power of 1 or greater on your side. You can sacrifice it to make a copy of the spell, right? But it's just like, that's not enough. People, like, when you need to do this, people have 2 mana available. So, I am not digging Make Disappear. That's all I can say. That's all I got to say about that. Goldspan Dragon did fantastic, as Goldspan Dragon does. It's just so hard to stand up against Goldspan Dragon and Burn Down the House. Because what I love those 3 little devils. I mean, you would think you want that 5 damage to each creature in Planeswalker. It's great. Don't get me wrong. But those 3 stupid devils are just so potent, especially at the low end of somebody's lifespan. Because they're hasty 1/1s, and it's hard to just see them coming. They're going to do some damage. But anytime they get killed, they are landmines that are going to do an additional 1 point of damage. You get people down in the 5-6 life range, there's nothing they can do to hold up against those 3 little devils. Nothing at all. So between like one Goldspan Dragon and the devil part of this, you could be easily passing out 10 points of damage in 1 turn if they all manage to get killed. Even if there's blockers out, they're getting at least 7 out of the deal, right? At least 7. Prismari Command, as being a Swiss Army knife, does a great job of providing you with what you need when you need it. The big score helps you dig for stuff and provide you with treasure tokens. Dragonfire. I mean, it's obvious we're playing a dragon. There's not that many dragons in here for it's being called a dragon deck. Let's see what else is in here. Voltage Surge. I'm really digging how this particular card has a lot of utility early. It can do 2 and 4, and as long as you're playing with treasure tokens, getting that 4 isn't too bad. And that extra mana, that 1 mana really helps you to put something above, because you can do a lot of 2s. Sometimes you can do 3s, right? But then this one can do an additional 2 or sometimes an additional 4. And it's like, wow, that is a fantastic coverage, because at least with black and white, usually you're either exiling or destroying creatures, period. Red doesn't have that ability. It just has the ability to do damage. So I used to think that was the awesome part, and nobody else could do what red could do. No, actually, red does it to like the worst, because you're limited on what damage can be done. The thing is, usually it's cheaper than what those other colors are capable of doing. Usually, you can do it a little bit cheaper with red, at least for the low-end stuff, right? So this deck does classic Izzet, in my opinion. I love the fact that Hullbreaker Horror is in here, just because if you can get to 7 mana, man, play it. You got plenty of things. Look at all those 2s right there. that are just going to make this guy a horror for your opponent. Just throwing all their stuffs back to his hand, nothing to do. We got the Storm Giants in here. Do we have any other manlands? Nope. But yeah, we got up to there, and the Storm Giant was devastating in games. I'm not really sure why this guy needs to be in here personally. I know it's hasty 2/2s, but they don't really go with anything else. I might potentially put in the Den of the Den of the Goblin, whatever it is. Is it Hobgoblin? I think so. Just so that you can get, you can get that extra. It's a manland, which is kind of protected to a certain way. Plus, you can get that extra goblin out when you need it, right? Field of Rune's good to take out somebody else's manlands. Altogether, this is a sound deck. So let's give it a rating. The deal is it competitive? And in my humblest opinion, absolutely it is. Is it a fun deck? And in my, once again, humble opinion, totes. Lastly, is there a theme? No, there's no theme here. There's barely creatures. So I guess saying that it's a not creature deck, making it theme. And sorry, we got some creatures at the end here that kind of would disagree with you. So yeah, it's not really much of a theme. So I got to give this deck just an A because there is no theme to it. I'm sorry, but no. This is a fantastic deck. Like I said, the only thing I would do is I'd change out and make disappear for something else. I might even be willing to pay 3 mana for as much as we use these things. And usually we can get up to 3 mana fairly soundly. I know they're trying to keep it 2 or less. It's just that the make disappears were so hard. Like maybe take Disdainful Stroke and put this one up 2 more. Maybe roll this one down by 1. I don't know, something like that. So yeah, I might tweak this a little bit for my personal use, but I tend not to, repeat the same decks over and over again, so you'll probably never see me change it. So anyways, that is this deck. If you so choose to play this deck, I hope you have as much fun as I did. That is all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.